Hi, this is your host Swapnil Bhartiya and welcome to TFR Let's Talk. And today we have with us Prakash Darji, General Manager of Digital Experience Business Unit at Pure Storage. Prakash, it's great to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure, and we cover Pure Storage on regular basis. But just remind our viewers, what do you folks do?
Yeah, so we're a storage company. We provide storage to SaaS companies, enterprise companies, commercial companies around the planet. And we offer Evergreen One, which is storage as a service to a wide variety of companies who don't want to worry about buying, running, and operating storage as well.
Excellent, thank you. And if I'm not wrong, in June, you folks also hosted, organized Pure Accelerate. Talk a bit about the event.
Yeah, the event was a big event for our platform. So we have a Pure Storage platform with a unique Evergreen architecture, a single operating environment for all workloads with infrastructure. And we brought out some key capabilities in the area of AI, in the area of cyber resilience, and also help customers with their containerization and VMware workload journeys.
And if I'm not wrong, you folks have been doing this event for a while now. Talk a bit about what are the focus this year, because we are seeing a lot of trends in the market. Of course, AI, Gen AI is the hottest word. We talk about security a lot of these days. So talk about the focus of the event.
We see AI as a trend. You can kind of break down the things we're doing in two areas. One, we're introducing a co-pilot to help, users of our SaaS management and monitoring environment actually interact with their data to figure out how to secure their operations and streamline their operations and all of that. At the same time, we have a lot of customers who actually have their own AI projects, and we've created storage optimized for AI, one with our Evergreen One for AI service, as well as NVIDIA SuperPod certification. So customers can go ahead and optimize, and efficiently run their AI projects with storage from Pure.
We are talking a lot about AI these days. Everybody wants to get on AI bandwagon. A lot of use cases are justified. I was talking to a guest, and they're like, everybody's looking at AI as a hammer, and now they look at everything in their organization as a nail to hit with that. So, from your perspective, first of all, how much is Pure Storage betting on AI, Gen AI? What are the use cases where you see that this is where it will really help customer? It will really ease their pain.
Generally, I think we're very measured, right? As a company, I think this AI is a fundamental shift in a new tool in the tool belt, but it's one of many tools. Right, so we don't look at like, hey, everything's a nail, AI's the hammer, let's go hit everything. We tend to go ahead and say it's good for certain things, and it's good for things that make business sense. I imagine right now, if I was to overgeneralize, I would state that the horizon one of practical, good ROI AI use cases is internal systems automation or marketing, right? Like it's good at marketing copy. It's good at, I've already do something. How do I automate that thing I already do? Right? So that could be support ticket diagnostics in support organizations. That could be in ticket approval, co-pilots for HR ticket professionals. Like I see a human augmented co-pilot for internal efficiency being like the near-term horizon one problem set. Right? And that's the reason why we introduced our AI co-pilot for storage operators. It's kind of the near-term internal efficiency game, right? I think the second kind of horizon, which I think will mature, is more industry vertical problem set oriented. Like imagine diagnostics for healthcare where you could load up a bunch of x-rays and look at spinal degeneration of humans on, because they're using phones and all the time, right? And how does that work in a longitudinal study? I think there's a lot there that could be, societal benefit in a little bit longer longitudinal horizon of applicability of technology, because there you're gonna only do that project if it's cost effective to do that project, but the return on that project from a societal impact is very high, right? So I think I look at Horizon two things, right? The Horizon, do I believe that, this is a Terminator robots taking over the future thing? No, I believe that's probably a little bit far away from where we're at today, right? I don't subscribe to the camp that, you know, AI is going to take everything over, but I do think it, makes technology way more accessible and easier for people to use. I do think it will change engineering in terms of how technology is built, and I do think generationally, the next generation may be able to say, build me an app to do blah, and it might be able to generate a mobile app, right? So having domain expertise in a particular area of what problems and questions you need to know, I think are going to be important. That's what I tell my kids. I got young kids who haven't yet entered the workforce, and I tell them to think about learning a domain space because I think it's just going to be important in the advent of like how you use technology versus be a technologist in and of itself.
When we talk about AI, Gen AI, we also talk about, we have to talk about GPU. The look at the NVIDIA's talk is, they are on this wave of AI, Gen AI. But when it comes to industry, what kind of challenges they face when it comes to GPU utilization, and how does Pure Storage enable customers to optimize GPU performance utilization, which can also reflect on resources and cost?
So I'll answer that, but let me give you an analogy, right? We have this Evergreen One for AI service aimed at doing that. And it's interesting. Our product manager who came up with it gave me the analogy that he said he came up with it looking at his water bill. So how does his water bill at his home look? There's a pipe that guarantees the amount of water that can enter your home. It's like 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch pipe. And you pay a connection fee for that pipe. It guarantees the water throughput, how many people can shower at the same time at your home, right? And then you pay on your water bill the usage you get for, how much water you use, right? So you pay for the pipe and you pay for the usage. And in AI, the GPU is the most expensive asset in infrastructure nowadays. So how do you ensure that it's utilized? Well, you need to ensure that you have a good pipe to keep it busy. That's storage, right? Like you're getting your data from storage to feed the GPU. So we can guarantee the pipe size, the throughput to keep any GPU 100% utilized, right? We just do that as part of the connection fee, right? And the usage fee is you pay a marginal usage for the data you use. So you're efficiently running storage, optimizing for GPU asset utilization with our Evergreen One for AI service. So we designed that largely to ensure that you have efficient, capital utilization of GPUs by using storage as a service under this water bill paradigm called Evergreen One for AI.
You folks also announced a few things around cyber resilience as well. First of all, talk a bit about when we talk about cyber resiliency, what does it mean for Pure Storage?
Cyber resiliency is a broad category. Everyone's right now worried about cybersecurity. But one of the things you have to understand is how do you secure data? Because the attack patterns right now have changed a lot over the last year. Previously, people would just encrypt your data and hold you for ransom, and that's where ransomware started. Nowadays, it isn't like that anymore. Now people are exfiltrating the data. Companies have figured out you can use, immutable snapshots to protect your data against, data encryption. So the attack patterns are different. Data exfiltration, denial of service, different attack patterns are there. And you see data breaches in the news all the time. So to do that, you have to ensure that you have a comprehensive view of data security. Largely NIST, government NIST framework has set aside a way of thinking about how do you identify issues, detect, protect against, proactively remediate, respond, and eventually create a governance framework around your data. So the capabilities we're introducing are across those wide variety of NIST spectrum in terms of a security assessment that, helps you proactively protect against things. Have you rotated passwords? Have you set the right configuration around your data, et cetera? From a detection standpoint, we've introduced things to detect through the performance of your storage systems, things like data exfiltration or denial of service. To remediate and respond, we've introduced resiliency SLAs, as well as mass remediation and patching in case something's gone wrong. And then from a governance standpoint, we have governance capabilities So you can streamline the way people use storage consistently. How do you provision volumes? How do you set policies and ensure that there's governance and compliance across those policies? Because typically in security operations, you would do a stride or a threat review across how people are using an environment. So it's a fairly, broad and comprehensive set of capabilities we're introducing in cyber resiliency.
And when it comes to some of these security related offerings, is it a different product portfolio catalog at Pure Storage, or no, it's just part of, it's more or less like additional features and functionalities versus a different category altogether?
No, it's not a different category. It's inbuilt, right? This is part of our platform. It's secured by design. We have secured development processes, and now we have additional security capabilities that are built into the platform that customers can leverage and use.
Can you also talk about the approach Pure Storage has when it comes to flexible storage architecture, platform kind of approach, or what do you feel is the right approach there, and what do you believe in?
Well, the platform has in our definition, has kind of four major attributes. One, you need a platform that gets better over time consistently in a non-disruptive way. We call that our Evergreen architecture. The Evergreen architecture assumes that if it's a SaaS-like approach where your hardware gets better over time, it's not like I bought this petabyte and have to throw it away, recycle it, and buy another petabyte and migrate. We're the only vendor in the industry that has the technology of the Evergreen architecture, right? We invented it, over a decade ago, and we've been ensuring storage gets consistently better over time. Now, after that, storage has been typically fragmented by workload. This is my Oracle, this is my Splunk, this is my file shares, and you would buy purpose-built systems. So we've got a simple unified operating system called Purity that supports multiple workloads. And then, typically each system had its own management, its own APIs, how you do it, and it was managed box by box. Versus thinking about it, like you don't, manage your network in a company, network switch by network switch. You think of your Wi-Fi as one common thing in a building, right? So in the same way, storage, needs to be networked and managed as a single pool. And we do that with our management infusion and our observability platform that gives customers a single pane of glass and database recommendations on how to optimize. And then finally, if you go one step further, think about storage as a managed endpoint business. Just like you have a bunch of Nest thermostats in homes, that's one big distributed cloud, right? It's a bunch of IoT managed endpoints called Nest thermostats. We think about storage and data centers that way. Cloud isn't a destination. It's, just a bunch of storage that's linked together and managed as one cohesive unit. And our Evergreen One thinks of storage that way. We run and operate SLAs for a customer. It's not just do you want to pay for it as a consumption or capital. It's how do you want to run and operate it in a consistent way where the vendor's giving you a managed endpoint. And that's what Pure does with our storage as a service. So that platform approach allows people to be capital efficient, right? From a spend standpoint, labor efficient, from a how to operate, energy efficient, meaning, even our storage as a service ensures that you don't even pay for power and space. We actually pay for that in your data center where we deploy, right? And it finally allows you to get better and grow old gracefully, right? You actually consistently it's the fountain of youth. You get better over time. So that's the platform we've built.
Prakash, thank you so much for taking time out today and of course talk about the Pure Accelerate and also the whole evolution of the space and how you folks are leveraging AI there. Thanks for great insights, and I would love to chat with you again. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for having me.